The air trembles with the weight of anticipation as a band of Australopithecus approaches the river's edge. Imagine a species not bound by the timid wading of apes, but shaped by evolution to spring across raging waters like frogs. What would survival look like if the river was no longer a barrier, but a path? What would become of human destiny if leaping was their gift, their curse, and their way of life? This is the story of survival of hunger and fear of triumph and loss, set 5.8 million years ago when the savannas were both cradle and grave. The story begins with the sun bleeding red across the endless grassland. A band of Australopithecus, lean and wiry, moves in unison toward the river. The day has been merciless, scorching winds, the smell of dust and animal musk lingering in the air. Their bodies are tense with hunger. They have tracked antelope herds for hours, only to be cut off by the river's roaring flood. But these are not ordinary hominins. Their legs coil like springs, and with a single bound they rise above the spray bodies arching over the current like shadows of giant frogs. Some land with precision on slick rocks, gripping with long toes. Others splash violently into the shallows but scramble forward with fierce determination. Each leap is survival carved into muscle and bone. The hunters regroup on the far bank chest, heaving eyes burning with focus. They press forward, weaving through tall grasses, their stone flakes clutched tightly. The antelope herd is within reach now, the scent of their sweat carried by the wind. Yet danger stalks silently nearby. A pride of saber-toothed cats has also marked the herd. The two predators, one ancient one rising, converge unknowingly toward the same prize. Suddenly, chaos erupts. The antelope scatter hooves, pounding like thunder eyes, wide with terror. Out of the tall grass leap the cat's muscles, rippling fangs glinting like ivory knives. The Australopithecus react not with retreat, but with leaps bounding sideways, vaulting over streams and hollows, their agility keeping them alive by fractions of a heartbeat. One cat lunges at a hunter, its jaws snapping, just shy of flesh, as the hominin springs backward over the riverbank in a desperate escape. The tribe rallies, beating stones against wood, throwing crude weapons to drive the cats away. The savanna becomes a stage of primal struggle. Each heartbeat, a battle between extinction and endurance. After the chaos, silence. The cats retreat, dragging away a fallen antelope. The hunters are left panting, their hunger unfulfilled, but their lives intact. They retreat into the shadows of an ancient fig tree, using broad leaves to gather water from the soil and soothe their throats. One elder, his body marked by scars, tends to a youngling scraped by stone, packing herbs into the wound. Around them, the tribe regroups, their eyes reflecting both exhaustion and defiance. But survival is never a single battle. In the distance, thunder rolls, a storm approaches, and with it, the river will swell again, cutting them off from the safety of the caves. The band must move, must leap once more, not just for food, but for survival itself. The storm does not wait. By nightfall, the sky has turned a violent shade of charcoal, the horizon lit with veins of lightning that tear across the clouds. The Australopithecus band gathers at the swollen river, their bodies slick with rain, their breath steaming in the cold air. The water churns with a deadly force, dragging branches and animal carcasses into its endless spiral. Yet, hesitation is not an option. Their caves lie beyond where safety, fire, and shelter await. To linger here is to invite predators drawn by the scent of fear and the chaos of the storm. One by one they leap. The storm transforms their gift into both salvation and peril. Those who spring with strength arc gracefully over torrents, their silhouettes lit by lightning, landing on slick stones with primal grace. Others falter, mistiming their jumps, crashing into the flood, and clawing desperately at roots and branches. The tribe works as one, reaching, pulling, dragging their kin to safety. In this moment, survival is not individual, it is communal. Even the young are bound to the elders' backs, small arms clinging like vines as their guardians vault through the air. Yet not all dangers rise from the river. From the shadows of the storm, a rival band emerges. Another group of Australopithecus, lean and sharp-eyed, driven by hunger and desperation. The two tribes lock eyes across the torrent, each recognizing the other as both kin and threat. The rain lashes down, and for a breathless moment, the storm itself seems to pause. Then, with a shriek of wind, the clash begins. Stones fly through the air, sticks sharpened to crude spears jab forward, and the leaping gift is turned from tool of survival to weapon of war. Warriors spring over the rushing water, not in flight, but in attack, their bodies striking like predators through the air. The battle is frantic, primal, and terrifying. Screams mingle with thunder, and the smell of blood cuts through the rain. One hunter, flung from a leap, crashes into the river and disappears beneath the foam. Another lands upon an enemy with crushing force, grappling, clawing, and biting until the storm drowns out their cries. Children huddle beneath a fallen log, guarded by mothers whose eyes blaze with ferocity. The rival band, though fierce, begins to falter, pushed back by the relentless unity of the tribe. When the lightning strikes closest, illuminating the world in white fire, the rival group flees into the night. The victors collapse upon the riverbank, shaking with exhaustion, their bodies bruised and battered. In the storm's heart, they huddle together, pressing warmth into each other, protecting the young, calming the wounded. Their bond has been tested by both the river and their own kind, and it has not broken. As dawn creeps over the soaked savanna, the storm eases. The tribe moves toward the caves, at last, battered but unbowed. The river is no longer an enemy. It is the proving ground of their existence. Each leap, each risk, each act of unity has etched survival into their bones. The dawn, after the storm, glows faintly gold mist curling above the drenched grasses. The Australopithecus band trudges forward, weary yet unbroken, their skin streaked with mud and blood. Every step feels heavy, but the promise of shelter pulls them onward. Ahead, the caves loom dark against the cliffs carved by time into natural fortresses. These walls have seen countless generations, and now they will cradle this tribe once more. Inside, the air is cool, dry, and smelling faintly of earth. The group collapses onto the stone floor, laying the young in the safest corners, wrapping them with broad leaves to ward off the chill. Fire is coaxed from damp fibers, sparks breathing into fragile flames until the cave glows with warmth. The tribe gathers, close, eyes wide with relief, watching the flicker dance across scarred faces. Each mark tells the story of the night before. The leaps through lightning, the clash of kin, the fury of the river. But survival does not end with arrival. A hunter lies still, arm torn and swollen from the battle. An elder crushes herbs between stones, smearing the paste across the wound. His hands steady his eyes, ancient with memory. Another gathers water pooled in leaves, tipping it gently into the mouths of the exhausted. This is their healing, not words but actions, each gesture a vow that the tribe will endure. Children begin to laugh, faint at first, then louder, breaking through the silence, like the first birdsong after rain. They mimic the leaps of their kin, springing across the cave floor in playful imitation. Even in hardship, joy finds a way to live. The elders watch, not with softness, but with something deeper, a recognition that their gift, this power to leap across rivers, is not just survival, but legacy. It binds them as surely as blood. By evening, the storm outside has passed, and the savanna breathes again. Antelope herds emerge from the grasses, and vultures circle the remains of the night's dead. From the mouth of the cave, the tribe gazes outward. They are scarred, but they are alive. Tomorrow, they will hunt again, leap again, face hunger beasts, and perhaps even rival kin again. But tonight, they feast on roots, fruit, and the scraps they carried through the chaos. Tonight, they are one. The river roars faintly in the distance, not as an obstacle, but as a reminder that their lives are measured not in stillness, but in leaps. Leaps over water, over fear, over death itself. And in those leaps, the myth of humanity begins.